Hello, 216430, and welcome to your deck review. For those of you joining us on YouTube for the first time, this is a series where I will look at your deck's weird little PP and help uncurve it or curve it more, whatever you want. But your PP is your deck's premise and practicum. Your premise is the idea behind your deck. For this deck, it is Niv Mizzet's Bureaucratic Nightmare, and the practicum is the stuff you put into the 99 and if it helps you achieve that idea. And I presume we see Kreidel of Baldur's Gate peeking out a little bit. I presume this is going to be a lot of dog shit. Now, fortunately for you, I've built one of these decks. We want to use Niv Mizzet Guild Pact. He has a big long text box. He cares about having stuff that is a two-color pair. So Dimir, Golgari, Duff, Simic, da 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 da. Each basic's funny as shit. Um, Now, unfortunately for you, when I made this deck, I made it like a fucking child, and I made it to clone Niv Mizzet as many times as possible. So I was like, I'm gonna get one Niv Mizzet out, and then I'm gonna spark double all over these motherfuckers, and they'll all see. Nobody saw. A few people saw, and it was very funny. So we want to actually win though. So we want to win late game via commander damage, or we outvalue opponents with the card draw. One day it might even win from Maze's End. No, stop that now. Stop. No. Oh, this is too stupid. This is a mistake every commander player makes. People will go like, "Oh, this is a stupid deck, so I'll put the other dumb win condition in because I'm already fucking around." It's the opposite. It's the opposite. The more your idea is a stupid fuck around, the more focused you have to be. Like you're trying to build a rocket out of balsa wood and reclaimed glue from like toys you picked up out of the Toys R Us dumpster. Like you have to be so locked in to try to MacGyver that stuff. Um, the deck started as a Maze's Endgate, where the goal was to use Niv Mizzet's life gain to sustain while digging for gates and extra land play abilities. That never worked. I wonder why. So I cut all the gates except Gone Gate and the original Guild Gates for the bit. I did leave Maze's End in, however. Okay, so, all right. This isn't a roast, so I'm not going to drag you over the coals just because you like stuff. I will say there's non-zero harm in having a land like Maze's End in a 5-color deck that can't fix our colors. It's not devastating, right? That single card being bad is not destroying the deck. The guild gates, I think, are at least like searchable. Do they have basic land types? And Nani the fuck. Oh, okay. No, they're not. That's really bad. That's really bad because the most important thing we have to do is fix our colors. And so the thing I think you're going to have to get right between you and whatever god you pray to on the premise is you have to draw a box around what the bit actually is. Because you talk about we're wrangling all the guilds of Ravnica, and then we have a random motherfucker from Avatar Land, and we have a random motherfucker from Lord of the Rings. Like, if this is going to be a heavy Ravnica theme deck, we have to make it a heavy Ravnica theme deck. We can't just say, oh, and then a third of the land base sucks because it says Guildgate on it. Because when we start doing that, we get a deck that does not feel flavorful when we lose and does not win enough to make up for all the times we lose semi flavorfully. Like either the flavor has to be so strong that when we lose the game, we go, oh, that's fine. I got to Ravnica all over these motherfuckers. Or we have to win enough to be like, oh yeah, there's a little bit of spice in there, but mostly it fucking works. It plays commander. It plays cards that are good in the game commander. And so this is not an exception to the bit. This is a terrible card. This is the bit. So I think you have to step one, draw clearer lines around this bit than just stuff is two colors. Stuff is two colors are they have very little to actually do with flavor. Like if you try to connect the fires of Yavi Maya to this random fairy, to the Doctor Who card Run for Your Life, to a fucking bunny, to a guild gate, people will give you two things. They'll say they both have two colors, and they suck together. And so whether it's like the, whether it's everything on the card has to feel Ravnican, um, like that would be a fine way to do it. But if we want to stick with just like, oh, the bit is that it's two colors, I think this land based thing is probably what dies first because one of the things you talk about in your primer is like, oh, we're not playing Niv Mizzet until turn 5. If you want to get ahead of curve, the easiest way you're going to get ahead of curve is you're going to lean green and you're going to use all of the either two colored dorks or you're going to use things like Farseek to bring out good lands like triomes or searchable dual lands, right? Like we have 10 basics, we have 12 lands that suck, and we have 15 lands that are usable. None of these are searchable. Okay, this is why your deck doesn't work. This is why your deck doesn't work. If you you could change nothing else, you could change the land base, and you would probably pick up like 1 to 2 turns of speed instantly. That is a place where the bit has overtaken practicality. Okay, so at least we own it. I think the thing I'm going to try to convince you of most over the course of this review is not that it's not that you need to abandon the bit in favor of practicality. It's that this does not work as a cohesive bit. There is not like a bit is performance art. When you have a gimmick deck that you are attempting um to display to people, you want to be able to have a cohesive storyline that you can refer to every time you play a card. The most like foolish, silly example is if you have a sea creature deck, every time you play something, you should be able to summarize your turn as fish. And if you can't do that, you've broken the bit. Um and so the fact that we're breaking the bit period, but not breaking it for ways that like dog. Dog. These are not from the Ravnican Guild of Boros. They're awesome. They're good for the deck, but I think you need to decide this is a Ravnica theme deck or this is a good deck that utilizes two color permanents. All of the non-lands you have picked this is a good deck that utilizes two color permanents. All of your lands are this is a Ravnica theme deck. And those two are not talking to each other. And so if you want to make every non-land like Ravnica, Return to Ravnica, like a Ravnica block constructed deck, then you have the Theminator 9000. And it's going to lose every game, but you're going to feel so fucking Niv Mizzety while you do it. My first suggestion would be make the lands match what the deck is. When the deck is theme doesn't matter, I care what colors you are. I care what colors you can provide for me. Your lands need to provide better colors for you, if that is what the through line of the deck is going to be. So let's start looking at what we've actually. Do we have other problems? Opening hand was color fixing for sure. And right now, the color fixing just doesn't work because 90% of our lands suck and we can't find other lands. Uh, Once the rest of the pod realizes how good Niv is at punching face, he dies almost immediately. Being able to play replay and then swing without giving people a full rotation is key to success. Uh, I don't think that's true. I think in a bracket 3 table, if Niv Mizzet is the biggest problem, that is a bracket 2 table. As somebody who has piloted this deck many times, if playing this dude turn 5, people are like, oh, he's the problem. They are playing downgraded precons. Like that, their decks clean fucking suck. This guy is surprisingly good, but he's not like good. Especially if you are doing the slow curve to play him that slowly. I would argue in general, we're probably going to want protection more than we want haste enabling, because the idea that you're going to replay him over and over means we're going to go from 5 mana to 7 mana to 9 mana. Like that's not working, dog. You're cooked out of that game. Because we're probably not in the business of like play Niv Mizzet and then ramp more. If you wanted to do like I'm all in on Niv Mizzet, I'm going to get to Niv Mizzet, and then I'm going to cast spells that care about how big my biggest creature is, and I'm going to like traverse the outlands. I'm going to Rishkar's expertise. I'm going to return to the Wild Speaker. Then I would begin to believe in it. Your ramp package would need to change up a whole lot, and it would be really hard to marry that with this Ravnican guild theme that you have going on. But I do think we should rather be on two color creatures like Tam. Like you already have this one. We should rather be on permanence or efficient interaction that can just protect our guy, because we have five colors, so we get all of the best shit. Like we get deflecting swap, we get fierce guardianship, um we get flawless maneuver. Like there's no end to the stuff. That's how much your land base hurt me. Think about that. um there's almost no end to the efficient interaction we can use to make this guy not die. So then let's I also disagree with how we have tagged this. And I think this goes back to the core disconnect of you have not actually decided whether this is a Ravnican theme deck or if this is a good deck that leans on two color permanents. And again, not the same deck. Because we have most of our stuff tagged Azorius, and then we're like, here's an actual effective tag. Um, Exceptions to the bit. See, then we have flexibility. Like I think you should pick either the number one priority is Ravnican representation, or the number one priority is I am going to play Magic, and while I play Magic, there is going to be some Ravnican representation. And I think the answer to which of those two you should prioritize comes from how big do you need this trigger to be? Because like when I play Mind of Mizzet deck, I'm triggering for two, maybe three. Now, if I like go crazy, go stupid on it, nobody has had removal. They use removal on a different person than I pop off. Like, yeah, it'll get to five, it'll get to six if I get to just vomit my entire deck onto the table. Um, but we've built the deck to be like, I'm gonna trigger for fucking nothing, or I'm triggering for five. And I think you would have an easier time conceptualizing this deck if you. This is not true. You would have an easier time conceptualizing this deck if you were tagging things by function, and then within function you tried to make sure like, do I have a two color permanent in here? Okay. Like, do I have a two color permanent in here? Like do I have a two color permanent that's handling removal? Because like that's how I tagged my deck. See if I can find it. It's been a minute since I played this one. Into the Glizzyverse. So I did draw. And then within draw, I tried to make sure, okay, do I have a two color shithead who's drawing me cards? And I had a ton. Him, yeah. Him, but DC Comics. Forgive my tag. Me, me when I'm him. And then I had ramp. I have in ramp. Can I pick stuff that is a two color permanent? If I can't, can I pick stuff that is doing what I need to do, which is fix mana for Niv Mizzet? But you do have a number of two color permanents that can get it done. But ramp is where I broke theme the most compared to what your theme is. And then I think I forgot to tag this stuff, but I was also looking for what removal can I have that is in two colors. And even if you want to keep on the theme, I think, or the Ravnican theme, I think it will help you see like the way you did this. Great, you should do this with the rest of the deck so that you can see more easily where your holes are. Here I think you mostly just went in the wrong direction. Like, dog, are you gonna pay fucking 11 mana to give this guy haste? Try to pull a Niv Mizzet 9/11, cast for 9, 11 mana, give him haste, please. You're being ridiculous. We're gonna do 7/9. Like it's so mana hungry in a deck that can't ramp effectively. I truly, truly do not believe in it. Maybe these flat banners, like making him uncounterable and giving him flat haste, that's fine. Fires of Yavimaya is just expensive, but it is two colors. So like these two, I get. This one ridiculous. This one ridiculous. See, this is why I don't like it. Because we have tagged stuff based on their Ravnican guild. Not only do we not have a Ravnican guy, we have a not Faerun, that's D&D. We have a Middle Earth. Hold on. Not interested. We have a random fucking Gondorian man here, not from the Guild of Orzhov. He also does not serve a single thing we want to do because we don't care about death triggers that much. We don't care about gaining life and losing life. We don't really care about like Voltroning that hard. Lifelink is nice, but the activated abilities on this Planeswalker mean nothing. And be like, but we had to get Orzhov. Yes, but because you were looking for the guild rather than the value the guild could bring you, you missed Ruthless Lawbringer. Like that type of shit. What do you have in Dimmer? Do you have Urtai Resurrected? No. We have, okay. Prime Committal. I don't love Lazav here because we're not going to commit to crimes until we have Niv Mizzet, and Niv Mizzet's crimes are committed post-combat, so we're going to turn him into a different creature after combat already. But he does grow a little bit. But like, Krydle doesn't do anything. You want to have a big fuck you dragon who beats everybody to death. This one I like the most because we can bounce this back to hand with Niv Mizzet's crime trigger. It's very mana inefficient, but it does do something. But I think Baleful Strix is the only one who's like good. Like this one is a dream and a half. It is very cute. It's going to lead to a lot of tutoring and shuffling that I'm not convinced you actually want to be doing. And there's just like there's just this guy right here who's good solid removal or is good solid protection. Is this guy right here who's good solid removal or can clone your commander. It's beautiful. And you already had Baleful Strix, but it's like we missed other card draw engines, other card draw engines, other card draw engines, other card draw engines. Like we missed the veggies that we need to make the deck function that still fit into your theme just as much as the cards you already picked. So I think when you go back to edit this, everything you should do in the editing process should be, okay, fuck these fake boxes I have drawn around where my stuff needs to be. I need to go to drawing cards, fixing mana, removing problems. Within that, if I can find a creature that is a guild color, I'm going to put that in, or a permanent, right? Because he doesn't even care about creatures. He just cares about permanence total. Yeah, permanence total. Then we can get it done. But right now, it looks to me like you looked at just big lists of everything that was the right color pairing, and you tried to go like, good enough. And then you put it in. And that has done like, like beachside cliff erosion, coastal erosion to both the theme and the functionality of the deck. So then where's our mana fixing? We don't have the Gruul mana fixer. We don't have the Rakdos dragon who does this. I do like that we have all this card draw. Florian's kind of cute. I don't hate him. I don't like Fireglass Mentor, but I don't hate him. I hate like every Orzhov permanent. Like good on you for the removal. Every Orzhov permanent is trash. Trash. Kind of trash. Fine. Trash. Absolute trash. Acceptable. Great. Will not work. Let me get that through to you right now. Will not work. Would be hilarious. Yes, will not work. Exactly what you want to do, exactly what you want to do, exactly what you want to do. And again, like because everyone's gonna be like, but it gets him to 9 damage or 10 damage. It's so close to commander damage. The primer ships this as I want to have a lot of guild permanents. I want to trigger the fuck out of Niv Mizzet. I want to point at all my different targets and yell about them over and over and over. We care much more about double strike than we do about making him big. If we cannot find anything that gives him double strike, sure, we can make him bigger. I would rather be playing a non-guild permanent like Duelist Heritage because it allows us to politic with our opponent's attacks. It allows us to double trigger our commander to draw a bunch of cards, gain a bunch of life, yell about how cool Ravnica is over and over and over. Um, versus this just makes Niv Mizzet a bigger threat. Like it makes Niv Mizzet more likely to be removed without advancing what you actually want to do, which is trigger Niv Mizzet. So I wonder if there's an O tag for is two colors. There's probably some type of syntax. See if we can. Hold on. Coiling Oracle. Pipeline. Cycle CN2 draft signpost is a fucking crazy tag. Can I do? Oh, we can fucking do it. Amazing. So color 2 is what you care about. And then I would just start doing like O tag ramp. How many options do we have? Probably not many. Not many good options, right? You already have this one. You already have this one. I don't remember if you have this one or not. Oh, you could do this one. You probably don't want to because you have to sacrifice your other Ravnican permanents. You could do Skull Prophet, would not be amazing. Kyora's Follower is generally underrated. He untaps a land. So if you do bounce lands, boom, 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 which again, we missed that guy because we were probably just like, oh, fuck, oh, shit. Or maybe this guy's from the Maze's End thing, back when we were doing more landfall. You could Ruby, you could Selvala. Prison Reef is crazy, don't do that. You could even fucking prosper just to make treasure tokens. Like there's almost no end to what you can do, but rather than the tagging you've already done, I would go back through, start from scratch, go, okay, how do I handle mana fixing? That's probably where you're going to have to break the gimmick as loosely as it has been defined if you want to get Niv Mizzet out by turn 4. If you want to get Niv Mizzet out by turn 3, you are definitely breaking the gimmick. No matter how cool or funny the gimmick is, if you want to be casting this commander by turn 3, you're going to need 1 mana ramp. You are going to need 3 mana ramp to play on turn 2 to get him on turn 3. If you either don't break the gimmick, period, or only break it a little bit, then we can start talking about I'm going to have Niv Mizzet by turn 4 every single game, and I'm probably going to have 1 permanent that counts towards color identity, but we cannot have all of these things that are just like, let me look for one. Great. Oh, you have Quain. God bless. We can't have all these things like Prince Imrahil the Fair, who are just straight doo-doo ass garbage just because they count for the color identity, because there are so many cards that will count for color identity and do what we actually need to do. So let me do one more ones through of stuff I think is just crazy hot garbage. 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 Insane garbage. Insane garbage. Insane garbage. Insane garbage. Moderate garbage. These guys were tagged alternately. Great, great, great. Kooky, greedy, but not garbage. Diabolical garbage. Not garbage. No, it's a little bit greedy. Greedy, but can be accepted. Diabolical garbage. Diabolical garbage. Acceptable. Diabolical garbage. Diabolical garbage. Diabolical garbage. I don't think it works as good as you think it do for the exact thing you want to do, but depending on what you want to do, it's either great or useless. Not totally useless. We can do way, way better. Unacceptable garbage. I hate him more every time I see him, but he's not totally unacceptable. Diabolical garbage. Diabolical garbage. Diabolical garbage. We've talked about this. So your Boros section is actually hot. These are like 3 stone cold bangers. And most of the sections where you took the time to tag uh, this is this is what I need the card to do, you have a pretty high rate of like, I at least do the thing. Some of these things are still garbage within them, but we do much better than when we just go like, oh fuck, I need to find, I need to hit this quota of things in a given guild. So I would rip all of those out, and we gotta stop fucking with these guild gates. We gotta stop fucking with and rebuild it paying the most attention to fixing, and then after fixing, paying the most attention to being able to solve our opponent, being able to remove problematic permanents, because Niv Mizzet can do a lot of draw for us. And then the last thing would be give Niv Mizzet double strike, clone Niv Mizzet, get extra combats, etc., etc. So I wish you the very best of luck, and I do hope this helped.